Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. I am Emmanuel Taban. Now, a very interesting story. A South Sudanese advocate by the names of Wane Santino Jeddah has actually challenged the state or the South Sudan state in the East African Court of Justice on a law that is in the South Sudan Election Act that actually gives the president-elect the powers to appoint members of parliament. Now, this advocate applied for this case, I think last year, where he challenged the state against, on that law on the Election Act. And the case is set for hearing on the 11th of March, that is next month, in Arusha, that is in Tanzania, in the East African Court of Justice. And a notice already has been issued by the courts to both parties, and they will go and attend the hearing of the case. That is next month on the 11th of March. And just like as I said, that law of the South Sudan Election Act, which was amended in 2023, gives the president-elect or anyone that will be elected as the president to actually have powers that when he forms his cabinet, he will also have the powers to appoint 5% of the members of parliament. He will have that power to appoint 5% of the members of parliament, of which that amounts to around 17 members of parliament. So 17 members of parliament, should that law go through, are going to be appointed by the President of the Republic of South Sudan, whoever the president will be, the president-elect. Now, I understand how this may feel. I mean, for people who understand how the different organs of government operates, I mean, you can draw a very quick conclusion that this looks unconstitutional and it's completely against the principles of democracy and separation of powers. Because we all know and understand that all the three organs of government are supposed to operate completely different. The executive organ of government, which is led by the President of the Republic, and we do have also the Parliament that is led by the Speaker of the Parliament, and in a bicameral Parliament, of course, we'll have the Senate and the National Assembly, which is led by different two speakers, and also the judiciary, a different organ of government led by the Chief Justice of a country. So these organs of government are supposed to operate completely different, and there shouldn't be an influence from one to another, none at all. Now, in this law, it proposed that anyone who will be elected as the president will have the powers to actually appoint all these 17 members of parliament. Now, I will tell you why this is a bullshit. This is completely not something that is going to work. Because one, I believe that the transitional constitution of South Sudan has stated very clear that all members of parliament are to be elected by the people. So everywhere across the world, when you move across the world, you'll find that the members of parliament draw their power from the people, not from the executive at all. And therefore, if we want to have members of parliament, they go out there and seek for mandate from the people, the electorate. They elect them to go and represent them in parliament, not appointed by the president at all. So if we have a parliament where a section of the members of it are actually appointed by the president or the executive, then one, it violates the law, the principle of separation of powers. But also, I mean, like I feel like it makes these people who are appointed by the government to just be a rubber stamp for the president, because when you appoint someone to go and act or to go and serve in a certain position, in most cases, these people will actually serve the interest of the person who appointed them. And you know all the role of a legislature. The role of a legislature, or a lot of parliamentarians or members of parliament, is mainly to do an oversight. So an oversight of the executive, an oversight of the judiciary, an oversight of, different levels of government, even in the state level as well, and all other government parastatals or corporations. The role of the parliament is to do this oversight role. And part of that oversight role is, of course, directly criticizing the moves and decisions being initiated by the executive leader or the president of the country. So in a situation where we have 17 members of a parliament appointed by a president, then these people are going to be tampered with. when we have business in the House or in the Parliament, there is the likelihood that these people are not going to participate actively when we have discussions that is against some of the moves and policies of the president, because they know they are appointed by the president, and therefore they wouldn't risk opposing him because they know the impact of that. They will easily lose because they know their power, their mandate is not drawn from the people but from the president. So he who appoints you, you have to serve him. And therefore, if they were appointed by the president, then they're obviously going to serve the president. That is one of the weaknesses. But also, we know very well that in Parliament, we have lots of businesses conducted. We have members of Parliament debating on different bills. And at some point, we have finance bills that comes in the Parliament. We have some laws that needs to be debated and members of Parliament have to vote on, and needs to be determined and seen if it can be passed and be enacted by the president. So if we have an instance like this, that maybe we have one of the state-sponsored law or policy that needs to be debated and voted for by the Parliament, then this Parliament is not going to have that power, because some of its members are tampered with and they are going to vote in favor of these motion or bill because it's coming from the executive directly, and therefore since they're appointed by the executive, they have to serve them, and therefore it actually takes away that legitimacy, it takes away the independence of the Parliament. That is the problem with having such a law, that actually members of Parliament are only appointed by what? Appointed by the executive or by the president. And I feel that is not the right move at all. And just like I've said, that when you move across the world, you will find that the three organs of the government operate completely different. They operate completely different and they have different roles. They have completely different roles. So I think this is a very big one, a very big test for the South Sudan government or the state. And I mean, it's not even working out. It's not just something that even I didn't expect that this will cross over in the minds of the state too. Before we close today's episode, here's a quick message from our sponsor, oneit.co. If you've been planning to build a website but the cost has been holding you back, oneit.co makes it affordable and stress-free this time around. Whether you are an individual, a non-profit organization, or a business, oneit.co designs professional websites starting from as cheap as $250. Individuals can actually launch with a starter website of up to 7 pages and a free email, or choose an advanced option with unlimited pages, a professional portfolio, and branding support. For non-profit organizations, they can select flexible packages from basic websites to premium solutions with e-commerce features and ongoing support. And for business companies, oneit.co delivers company-ready website with hosting, staff training, and multilingual options and online stores. And the best part of it is actually that you can build your dream website within your budget. oneit.co is an affordable, accessible, and professional partner. And to get started, you can actually visit oneit.co or email them at info@oneit.co, or you can get in touch with them through their WhatsApp number at +1 226 504 3322. oneit.co, proudly affiliated with Jobs to Apply. And if you're wondering of what I'm talking about, here are some samples of website created by oneit.co. You can see them right here.